Today we are creating this 3D floating text within After Effects. Let's get right into it. Alright, I am in my composition. I've got a text layer here ready to go. When you've got the same, right click on your text and select pre-compose. Name it to whatever you want. Move all attributes and press OK. So the reason that we just did this is that later on down the line, if you want to change your text, you can do that without any hassle at all. So as the name suggests, gradient, we are going to add a gradient to this. So come over to Effects and Presets and type in gradient. I'm going to grab this 4-color gradient and drop it onto our layer. You can choose whatever colors you want. I am going to select maybe a green. Once you're happy, we are going to now make the 3D look in the example. So to do this, just go ahead, duplicate our layer by pressing Ctrl D. I'm going to rename this to Text Offset 1. Click onto our new layer, delete the gradient, and come over to Effects and Presets and type in Fill. Drag it onto our layer. I'm going to change this to maybe a purpley color. Then I'm going to come into the transform properties and change the offset by 10. So go into this number, 960 is going to become 970, and just drag this under our gradient. So I want to repeat this process now, so I'm going to press Ctrl D. I'll just do it 2 more times. I'm going to come into the text offset here. I'm going to change the transform to 980, and I'm going to do the same on offset number 3. Change this to 990. Then just go ahead and drag 2 under 1 and 3 under 2. Alright, so I'm going to change this color to maybe a darker pink. And then I'm going to change this to maybe a hot pink. Okay, so we've made this kind of fake looking 3D text. The next thing that I'm going to do is add a stroke to our layer. So go ahead onto our gradient, press Ctrl D to duplicate it, delete our 4-color gradient, and right click on our layer, and we're going to add a layer style and select stroke. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to change this color to black, and I'm going to make the number about 6, which is really good. And we have a problem though. We've got this white blocking our beautiful colors. So to change this, just come into the blending options, change the advanced blending, bring the fill opacity down to 0. I'm going to rename this to text stroke. Now I want to press Ctrl D and duplicate this, and I'm going to rename this to hidden stroke. I'm going to come into the stroke settings. Just going to bring this number, we're going to change the color to white, and I want to double this again, so I'm going to bring it up to maybe 13.5. And this is fine, but we just want to hide this. We don't care for seeing it. This is almost set up. I do just want to add a bit more color to this. So on our text stroke, let's go and right click. I'm going to add one more layer style and add an inner shadow. Just come into the layer style, come into inner shadow. I'm just going to change the blend mode to normal. I'm going to make this maybe a light pink. And to start seeing something, we're going to change the distance. So I'm going to bring this up to about 18. So now we've got our little inner shadow here, but I actually want to blend this out a little bit. So let's just drag this size all the way up to about 65. Okay, so we've got our look. The last thing that we want to add is the dots that we had in the example. So I'm going to come up to Layer, New Solid, and I'm going to name it. This is actually the color I wanted. It's kind of a light pink. Press OK. And as the name suggests, we want to come over to Effects and Presets and type in Gridler. Drop this onto our layer. So if you haven't used this effect before, if we change these numbers, we're going to start getting some very interesting grids. I want to make some like tiny little dots, so I'm going to bring this number all the way down to 4. And I'm going to do the same on the vertical scale. So that's really cool. I actually want heaps of dots though, so let's drag this all the way down. I'm going to go maybe like 2.9. Cool, so that's the look that I was going for, and that's very cool, but I actually didn't want it everywhere. I just want it just hovering around the text, and to do this we're going to use our hidden stroke that we made earlier. So we're just going to come over to the track matte options on our pink gridler and change that to hidden stroke. And so basically it's just using that stroke that we created as a guide for where those dots can show up. let's start animating it. So I'm going to come over to Effects and Presets and type in Glow. And I'm going to drag this glow down onto our gradient layer. Generally, when I'm using the effect, these are the numbers that we are going to change. I'm going to bring the glow intensity down to 0.8. And then I'm going to start changing the numbers, but I am going to keyframe this. So let's bring this back to the beginning. And I'm going to come into the layer itself, just so we can see what we are doing. So I'm going to change the glow threshold to 50. And I'm going to change the glow radius to 158. And I'm actually going to keyframe these. So just click on this stopwatch and again on this one. And then I'm going to come over to about frame 18. If you are not seeing this in frames, you can hold Control to just change it to time. I'm working with frames today. So I'm coming to frame 18 and I'm going to change these numbers to 40 and 100. So we can see got a little bit of movement, goes a little bit brighter. Then I'm going to press Control C while selecting these two keyframes, and I'm going to come over to frame 38 and I'm going to press Control V. You can see it when we move our mouse very quickly. And then I'm just going to select all of these and press F9 to change them to Easy Ease. Right, so that's cool. I'm going to press play and we've got a little flash and then it just stops, which is not what we want. Now we could copy and paste these all the way along, but I do not want to do that. It's time consuming. So to fix this, we are just going to hold down Alt on the stopwatch and I'm going to type in loop out. So it is a capital O and open and close parentheses. And I'm just going to press Control A and Control C to copy this. And then we are going to come onto the radius, press Alt, and we're going to paste our expression again. So now when we play through, we've got a little bit of a flashing glow on our text. This is cool, but I also want to make our text float. So to do this, we are going to go right back into our text layer. So choose any one, jump back into our main text. And you can just drop into this text and we are going to use the animate tools. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to choose position, and then I just want to add another property, and that's rotation. Then I'm going to come back to add one more time and we're going to do a selector wiggly, and that's going to just make our text wiggle. So we're just going to change these parameters right here and change this to 10 and this one to 10. And I'm going to give it a little bit of rotation of 5. So when I play through, we've got our wiggly movement. I want to take it down a little bit. I don't want it to just be moving so quick. So I'm going to come into the wiggly selector and I'm going to change the wiggles per second to 0.5. And I'm going to change the correlation. So if I drag this all the way up, you can see all of our letters are kind of moving the same. I don't want that. I want to be a little bit random, so I'm going to change it to 20. So if I come up to our main comp, and now when I play, we've got some glowing floating text. And that's it completed. I have just gone and added a background and I've added a particle layer. This is the effects. This is the numbers that I did on the particle. If you don't know where that is, it's in the effects and presets and it's just called Particle World, and you just drop that on a black solid. That is it for today, everyone. If you found this video helpful, giving it a like will let me know that I am on the right track. And if you want to watch more videos just like this one, click right here because this is the video YouTube thinks that you should watch next. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!